Whiskey Throttle Spotlight is brought to you by Yamaha, the leaders in the power sports industry. Join the Blue Crew today. By Nihilo Concepts, boost your bike's performance, reliability, and aesthetics with Nihilo products. Flow Vision, high-performance goggles and eyewear. And by Complete Racing Solutions, your one-stop shop for human performance and wellness. Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Whiskey Throttle Media. I'm Ping here, getting our first ride today on the 2023 Honda CRF450. It's their 50th anniversary edition. The aesthetic of this thing is rad. If you're over maybe 35 or 40, maybe the younger kids don't get it, but it kind of is a throwback to the 80s days when RJ and Bailey and Johnny O and the boys were absolutely killing it. And for a guy my age, this is a really cool look. A lot of cool little details like the gold bars, the gold rims, and just all that stuff. So really cool look to it. But there's actually a lot of meat and potatoes in terms of changes for this thing this year. Let's dive into it. So outside of the look, they did a couple of things. Narrower intake port shape and longer intake funnel, which are meant to improve engine response and torque, resulting in improved acceleration. The throttle body diameter is reduced from 46 mil to 44 mil for smoother power delivery at low speeds. Frame rigidity has been optimized by increasing material thickness at front joint and upper shock mount, enabling a freer functioning of front and rear suspension. Because changes to frame rigidity allow freer suspension movement, the shock spring rate is increased without introducing any kind of harshness. The fork settings are also changed to match the rear suspension and ensure a front and rear balance. The muffler is quieter thanks to the change of the inner pipe design. And the new radiator shroud graphics feature a new HRC logo. It's got a cool little sparkle to it, so very cool looking. So how do all those changes feel on the track? Well, I can tell you that right away, I went out and I was thinking, man, it's a little slow, like maybe they overcorrected the power, because in the 22 model, there was people that complained of like an abruptness when the power would come on. And it was a little dirty running. You know, they'd fixed that from 21, but it was still just a little rough to start and chugging out of turns at times. And they addressed that. But I thought, man, they've overdone it. Now it's a little soft feeling. Well, I was in the soft map. So once I figured that out, went to the stock map, went through the aggressive map, and kind of felt my way around, man, it was a powerhouse. This motor is very, very strong. And I think for a lot of people, it was kind of a handful, to be real honest with you. So they kind of focused on making it a little bit more easy to ride, and they knocked it out of the park. And one of the things that really struck me was a lot of times when you bounce through the different maps, there's either hardly any difference between them, or, you know, maybe one's good, but the other one you're like, well, I don't think I'll ever use that, you know. So there's a standard, a soft, and an aggressive, and there's really a nice progression between all three of them. Like I could see myself using each one of those maps in different conditions. Anything that was hard slick or maybe shiny muddy, that soft map actually works because it's really mellow to roll on. Still makes good power, but it's just very tractable. Then the standard map is sort of a, you know, nice in between, like anybody could jump on that and be happy. And then the aggressive one might go back to feeling a little bit more like the 22, where it might be a little bit much for some. But again, if you're at elevation, you're in deep dirt, you're in sand, you're an intermediate expert rider, you're gonna like that map best. So I thought they did a really good job of coming up with 3 maps that are very usable for a wide range of riders. The biggest change though was in the chassis. I could not get comfortable on the 22. And we introed it here at the same exact place a year ago. And man, I tried everything to get that suspension to work, and just, there was something in it that just, I couldn't get the plushness and the action that I wanted. If I got it firm enough to hold up, then it was harsh and I was feeling every little bump. If I got that soft, then I'm blowing through. I just struggled with it a lot, to be real honest. And the changes they've made are significant in terms of handling in this bike. I would say, hands down, the best handling Honda 450 I've ever ridden here at Glen Helen. I mean, when you can get a bike to work well here in the afternoon, and trust me, it is a hot pile of garbage out there. They're watering, it's hard and choppy. I mean, it's standard Glen Helen in the afternoon, and I got really comfortable. And we're gonna have a race spec video that'll show you all the exact changes we made and what we recommend doing. But just when I tell you that I got really comfortable on this bike just by turning some clickers, finding the right balance. We did a handful of things. We tried some fork height stuff, and obviously I went through all the maps, and we tried some high and low speed compression changes, which again, I'll get into that in the race spec video, but we got really comfortable with it. And I was so stoked at the end of the day, just by the way the bike felt. You know, anytime you can get comfortable with suspension and chassis, all of a sudden you just start having fun again, right? Like I went from kind of struggling and just fighting the track to, now I'm just kind of floating across the bumps, finding lines, and really having fun again. I love the tires on this thing. The 33s work great. I will say, get rid of these grips. I don't know why Honda continues with these things. All in all, they've made some changes that really improved this bike. And I would say that's rideability of the motor, just made it a little bit more friendly. And then the changes they made to the chassis, they did a great job. So these should be available very, very soon at your Honda dealers. I hope you guys enjoyed the first ride look here. Stay tuned for race spec. If you end up with one of these, we'll give you a good starting point, a good direction, some things to try. We really came up with some good stuff. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.